that's the one thing we've called out to the community to help us with, and we'd love to continue that. Again,
Yeah,
I want to just get the community involved, really.
Yeah, and speaking on that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Aviationrcnoob podcast. My name is Joe.
And I am Matt.
And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Or something like that.
Well, we could go into carols and just have the whole episode be us singing carols poorly at you, but...
Do you want to do that?
I'm not ready.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Reindeer.
Wait, that's just Christmas music. That's not a carol.
Well, I mean, it starts that way,
Yeah.
And we can go from there. But no, I think it'll be better if we do kind of what we, not what we always do, but this time of year is also a time where we kind of like reflect on the year that's come before us up to this point, and then kind of look at the year that we're going to lead into. So, because this is the last episode that you're going to see from us for this year. Next one you're going to see in early January. So we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. For us, we celebrate Christmas. If not, if you celebrate other holidays, which I think the celebration of lights is almost at a close, but we wish you all the happy holidays if you celebrate other things in this wintry season. But Merry Christmas.
Yeah, but it's also summer down in Australia.
It is summer down in Australia. So, we don't expect you'll have snow. It's okay. You can sweat one out for us.
So in the past couple of years, we've done like sort of the indie. It was kind of weird there because we did like an indie year wrap up, but then immediately following 2 episodes later was our year-iversary or anniversary episode. So we're just kind of combining that into this one single. So this will be our 2023 wrapped and anniversary episode.
Yep. Look behind and look forward and kind of think about what we're going to be doing going forward. But we will still have a little bit of an anniversary celebration when we get to a couple episodes from now, I promise.
Oh, will we?
Yeah, something. We'll spend a couple minutes. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, I thought that was the whole point of
we'll do it. No, we just don't need to do the one recap and then do basically another same recap again 2 episodes later. We'll just put it all together in this one and save you all a little bit of grief. I hope you appreciated or enjoyed the last episode. It was a new option. And I know that some of you are still pushing through it based on the build night we just had earlier tonight. I got some.
We got some. Say they were still working on the video.
Yeah. We got some good feedback. They really enjoyed it. They're like, "Wow, there's a lot in there. That was great." It's also long, and it's taken me a while, and I don't have enough trips in a week to cover this here episode. And I'm looking forward to. And they said, like, I was listening, and I'm actually looking forward to going onto YouTube and checking it out on YouTube to see some of the visuals that go with this, because. It looks like it might be a little bit helpful, but you're doing a great job describing it. So I appreciate the feedback from everybody who is in the build party with me. We're putting together some planes. That was good. I know, Joe, you were busy doing a couple other things, and that's why it said build party with Matt, not build party with everybody. But I'm glad you were able to kind of pop in there at the last minute. So, yeah, if you made it, I'm glad to hang out with you, and I'm looking forward to it. Our next one is when? Why don't we cover some of the quick community stuff?
Let's see. You've got Friday, December 29th, which no.
We made plans over this last week. It'll conflict with that directly.
That's going to probably have to be canceled.
No, well, hold on. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm off on the 28th, so I'm going to push it to the 28th.
I'm also off on the 28th, and I think there's still plans to be figured out because as long as
Uh-huh.
next week starts out calmly, I'll be off on 28th, and we may be looking to come up on Thursday.
Well, which will be great. So what it may be a midday event. Let's do that.
Who's off on the 28th?
I don't know. People will take the week off between Christmas and New Year's, which is a lot of people.
Okay.
And if you're in South Africa, this might be the perfect time. Or if you're in England or in Europe, this is your evening time. So it's not a bad time to get together with us while we build stuff. I'm probably going to be building stuff before you guys come up.
You're crazy. I wouldn't be spending any of my Christmas time with you building. Except
Get out
I'm
of here.
coming up.
Except you're gonna.
Except I'm gonna, yeah.
Except you're gonna. Anyway, but so how about this? We're gonna set it up for the December 28th between 12 and 2 or 3 o'clock. And I will be building with everybody. And we may leak it into the evening when you come in. You come in and say hi, and then we will... and then we'll have to stop it because you and I and everybody who's joining us for what we're doing after for D&D stuff, we're gonna want to spend some time catching up because it's been a long while and I'm really eager to see everybody. So what are the other events though, Joe?
Let me pull them back up. You've got Friday, January 12th at 8 p.m., which will be in 2024, and then Friday, the following Friday, January 19th.
Right. And I have, I did not pull out my calendar on my phone to coordinate the events for Cub Scouts or for Boy Scouts. So I will, I'll still have to leave that up in the air, but I'll reach out to my guy and see. Well, I think the 12th is going to be the date because I think we scheduled something for the 19th for going out to camp and things like that.
Okay. Because those were tentative dates anyway.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to pick one of those. So it's still one of those two dates, but it's looking more like the 12th. So hopefully you can join us while we put together our some sort of winter extravaganza.
Okay. Well, have you been doing a whole lot in the hobby the last 2 weeks?
Yes and no. Yeah. As my son likes to taunt me, he says yesn't, and I'm like, oh my god, it gets under my skin. But anyway, no, I have been doing some things. So
Okay.
I've been trying to make the vision I had that we talked about last time a reality. I've already cut out all the shapes. I think I was working on that last time. They definitely all got cut out and they all got dry fit before tonight. But tonight I glued all the rib sections into the spars. I need to do some reinforcing and whatnot for the actual ribs themselves, or sorry, for the spars. So the way I did the spars are U-shaped, and then they're kind of slotted so that the ribs can kind of squeeze in, and the glue should hold it all together and it should be pretty solid. However, to make sure that there's no torquing or twisting along the wing shape, I need to put in diagonals, and I also need to put a bottom member because that's as it flexes, as the lift comes in, it's going to flex upward. And there's very little strength along the base as it currently stands. So I was planning on putting strapping tape and maybe another layer of foam along the bottom. And that's where the covering film is going to attach to pretty strongly. So I do have a little bit to do there, but once that's done, it's going to be put on film. And I'm hoping I can do that tomorrow at some point. And then I've got a couple days, and I'm going out of town to enjoy the holidays with my girlfriend and her family. And then when I come back, I'll probably go back at that and see if I can't get a model that I can try to piece together and give it at least a toss by the time you come up.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I'd like to get some electronics in it and see if I can't give it a fly with you.
Oh,
because that would be a lot of fun.
That'll be interesting because I've not even seen it at this point.
Well, it's right there. It's in the background. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's so good looking.
What is that?
Oh,
hang on.
That's the wing sitting on the table. It's upside down. And then right here is the landing surface. And it's
okay.
Really basic form.
What was that? The wing spar there?
No, well, so it's all the different
Oh,
wing
okay.
ribs, and then the wing spar goes the whole length. So this thing is, I don't know what it is, 90 inches. So whatever that is, 8.5 feet, 7.5 feet,
And that's
something
a
like that.
wing.
That's one wing. There's two of those. They have different airfoil sections based on what we talked about last time.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the main wing is kind of a slightly undercambered, very long wing shape. So it ends up creating a pretty flat surface. So I'm eager to see kind of, it might end up in catastrophe, to be honest. We'll see.
I thought you were doing a smaller build of this first.
This is the small build. This is about 1/3 scale, ideally.
Okay, so you got one 8-foot wing,
Uh-huh.
and that's for one side, right?
Now, what I may end up doing is scaling it the cord by 3. So it's a 2-foot cord instead of an 8-inch cord. And I may
But-
not increase the wingspan a whole lot.
Okay, is that one half, like, is that the left wing or is that the whole wing?
That's the whole wing.
Oh, okay.
So that's the front wing, and then there's a back wing.
That's still, okay.
And
Yeah, your
yeah.
mock-up is the size of the Giant Wonder.
Yeah. Is it a problem?
Not if it's not a problem for you.
Well, it may be. I mean, I'm still working through some transport issues.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, as it is, I should be able to fit it into my van, but barely. Now, if it's triple the size, I've either got to figure out a way to connect it all together or get a bigger van.
Or we revisit that trailer conversation.
That's the bigger van. The bigger van is the trailer. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I would have to say that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, other than kind of trying to foster a rekindling of RC interest in my kids. Most of it was celebrating Christmas. We do a little bit early because they go and visit their mother for the holiday. So we celebrated Christmas. That was pretty much my big deal. We made cookies, did Christmas stuff, did the lights, had a good time, celebrated, had a blast. And so this is kind of the first moment I've had to really focus back on this. And the other thing I've been doing over the last couple weeks is kind of doing that look forward thing, trying to see where we want to be, what we want to aim for, and then given those things, what we might need to take care of to get there. So
yeah,
we'll talk about that in the later half.
Yeah, you and I got a lot of conversations to have in the next little while.
We do.
Go ahead and do what you got to do, because
go ahead. Why don't you talk about what you've been up to, and I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Nothing.
Well, that was too short.
Well, go do your thing. We'll talk when you get back.
Now, what I wanted to show Joe, so what I picked up is that I put the covering film over, we'll call it rib sections of foam board.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see how DocuLam attaches to raw foam in we'll call it the rib sections, right? I want to see how well it attaches and how well it shrinks. Does it mess up with everything? And based on Joe can actually see some of the reflections.
Yeah, I'm
should be
looking
able
at
to see how it attaches. So that's, you attach it on the ribs with a very low heat iron. And then you take, when you're done, you take a heat gun and kind of shrink wrap it. Very carefully. And then basically your DocuLam is kind of opaque. And then as you heat it, it goes crystal clear. With some LEDs makes it, this is incredibly lightweight. It's actually pretty darn stiff and pretty durable. So we'll see how well this scales up with the bigger section. I think the wings will be fine. It's more the carrier top that I might have to do some revisions to.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, so making progress on that mock-up because it's kind of critical to decide what direction we need to go with that, or if we're going to punt. Have you made any headway? Because you mentioned something about 300% Noob Wonder.
Yeah, not
rebuilt.
Yet. I think you sent me files at one point. Maybe
I did. Yep.
Where'd you send them?
To your email.
Okay.
And it
I'll
should
have
be a
to find 'em.
PDF with about 8 different sheets. 2 or 3 of those you need to print. The rest you need to like full scale and kind of paginate them, and so you can make a poster. So it's full scale 1-to-1 put on the foam.
Right.
The rest of them, though, you can just print out 11 by 17 or small, so that you can use the reference. So you can just lay it out. It's quicker to lay out on the actual sheet, just with a ruler and a pen.
Yeah. So I've not tackled that yet. A couple things going on. One, work's been really busy the last couple weeks. You and I got 5 minutes talk earlier today, and that was it in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been busy for both of us. I mean, I've got 2 deadlines. One was today, the next one's tomorrow. It's also the very end of all the things before I go on vacation. So yeah, it's a lot. I know, and I know you've been swamped too with work.
Well, with work, when I'm at work, so there's no extra brain processes. The other thing, yes, I want to get on that, but I need to do that shelf mount mechanism for planes and get those up on the wall so that I can get all the planes off the floor. I'm looking at it.
No, I know. No, I'm trying to see if I can catch the light right.
Okay.
The way I'm looking at it, you can actually see how it's attached, but I don't think I'll get the light right. Yeah, so you got a bunch on the ground you want to get up. I understand.
Yeah, I want to get them out of the way. And then my wife and I decided to treat ourselves and get Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, say goodbye to that week.
Yeah, it's
I
got a lot of hours in it, and we're still pretty early in the game, so it's fun, but it is taking a lot of time. But it's been good for the two of us to have that to do together. So
yeah, that's a good thing. Excellent.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I need to. The last time I messed with a 3D printer, it had ground its way through the filament. Now, I think I may have that spring arm too tight. So the moment it starts to slip, it just eats the filament. It bites through it.
Yep. And it starts rubbing it raw and Yep.
So
well,
that's sort of where that's at. And
time to take some quality time with the printer.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I've got time that I hadn't burnt this year. So and it'll roll over into the beginning of next year. But not for the entirety of the year. So hopefully January, February-ish, my coworkers and I are going to be burning vacation time that we didn't use up this year.
Yeah, the use it or lose it time.
Right, which will also give me maybe some time to work on that app that I was doing that is going to take me several hours of staring at to figure out where I was.
Well, that's like I said, that's going to be kind of on the list of things that, we'll put out as pipe dreams that we hope become more than pipe dreams.
Well, then before we get into pipe dreams, since this is also the anniversary episode.
Yeah. So the first thing we always do in our anniversary episode is Joe pulls up the long lost episode a year ago where we said all the things that we were going to tackle this year. Absolutely going to do it. This time it's for real.
And we're going to go through it and see how we did.
What do we say, Joe?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Let's start with you.
How bad am I going to have to eat crow this time?
Well, let's find out.
Right.
You said you wanted to fly twice a month.
All right. That sounded great.
Yeah,
for a while there, I think I was. And there's a certain point it stopped. And most of it was the beginning of school, I think. Was kind of a bit of a turning point at that point. So, yeah, and I was basically once a month if I was lucky. And it kind of sucks because that's not, there's a lot of planes here that I'd love to fly. But, finding time isn't always the easiest.
Yeah, that's fair. Balsa in 3D, you...
Maybe making time is the best way to put that. Go ahead.
Did you do any 3D flying like you said you wanted to do?
3D printing? Well, okay. The closest I got to that was A gentleman that goes by Merck. We met him at Flight Fest. He ended up being deployed over the last little bit, and I covered it a couple episodes ago, but he ended up gifting me a Prandtl wing that he 3D printed and was ready. And he's like, I need a good home for this. And I know the certain perfect person who loves Prandtls.
Did you
So
fly
he
it?
gifted me that. And no, I haven't put a motor in it. So I
Okay.
need to go through and put the electronics in it. It's just printed. It's printed, it's put together. But the electronics need to go in it. So yeah, I haven't really, it's still been kind of rummaging around with the shop. Like I got the other desk put up, and I did a little bit of building on it today, which is wonderful, but I'm not sure I like the arrangement, so I might have to rearrange a couple things. So it's easier to build and easier to do some things. But again, that's a little bit of a work in progress. But as I do that, I'll start unpacking the boxes and finding homes for everything. And when I do, I'll find the motor that needs to go in that Prandtl wing. So
Yeah, speaking of your workbench, we both basically had man cave revamps this year.
yeah,
So
yep.
that took a lot of time.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, not just a lot of time, but it really kind of took a bite out of we'll call it hobby building productivity. It didn't stop us from enjoying the hobby. It just me, I'm a prolific builder. So if I don't have a surface to build on, I start getting stir crazy.
Yeah. Well, ideally, I've still got more organizing in here to do, but I've got a build surface, and I've done a little bit on it.
Good.
There's just still more stuff to get out of the way and get put away or figure out what I'm going to do with it. Balsa.
I didn't do any balsa.
Okay.
I do have kits, and I certainly could probably, now that I've got I'll call it 2 surfaces, one that I could build big foam things, and another one I could set up a build of balsa and just methodically build through it, and kind of keep it while I'm going madcap crazy on the foam stuff. That way I can be a little bit more methodical with the balsa. So I predicted it's coming very soon, like I did last time.
You said you wanted to do some RC 3D print, the Quickie, the U2 Dragon Lady.
Oh yeah, I so can't wait until I get my 3D printers up and running. And part of that was, I was anticipating pulling a number of things out of different parts of the house into the shop and reorganizing that, so that I would have either a better dedicated space for 3D printing and having access to it during the day to be able to monitor and make sure everything's going good. But I don't feel that I have that. But I'm making headway every month. It's not as fast as I want, but it's making headway. So we'll keep that on the list as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. You were talking about doing some long range flights, maybe some FPV experimental airlines.
Okay, so I did get the ELRS system, right? And I took that little itty bitty quadcopter that has no business going really past the stop sign down the street. And I went all the way across the neighborhood and lost it in somebody's yard on the other way.
Good job.
I mean, I did recover it, but so I did get that set up. So I partially did that, and was doing that with FPV and stuff like that. But I did build an FPV rig that I can move from plane to plane to plane, and that has been pretty successful. Whenever I'm in for that, I do that, and I did build 2 experimental airline planes.
You did?
Yep. Both of them were not a success, which is why I don't have the long range, but I attempted it. I gave it a go. I didn't find success. I'm not saying I'm done with it, but that was the last project I worked on before I kind of rearranged the shop wholesale.
Which ones were the experimental airlines?
What did they call? What did he call it? It's the Ansley Peace Drone. I built the half scale and I built the full scale, and both of them did not fly the way I expected, and they both did not get up in the air in a controllable manner, which was disappointing. And both of them had enough where I couldn't, one of them I just sort of put away before I broke it, and the other one I broke a little bit. So
The
part of it
Ansley
needs to be
Peastrom?
Ansley Peastrone.
Spell that.
Ansley, and then Peastrone. Like
That's
peace
what I'm
on earth and drone. Yep.
Peace.
Like a
Peace Drone.
Yeah, peace on earth. Peace.
I heard Peastrom or
I don't know why.
Peastrom.
What's going on with you?
I don't know. Okay.
I
got you.
Okay. So that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that. I made the two of them, and they turn out great. They look beautiful. Unfortunately, they don't fly the way I hoped. Couldn't really figure out why, and I was disappointed. I did get closer to fiberglassing. I think that's the next on your list.
Yep. Fiberglass model.
I did get sections cut out and the aluminum tape on it for hot wire cutting.
Okay.
So and the goal was to cut them out of foam and then fiberglass it when I was done. And so I got part of the way down, but I did not finish that. Again, that's kind of something that needed separate space for, and got a bit sidetracked.
And how about the B-2 bomber?
Those sheets are sitting right over there uncut. I do not have those sections cut out to build. So it is on hold, but it was started. And it still is there started, but it never got done. So I would have to say I didn't do terribly well this year, meeting my own expectations. However, it's not like I didn't do anything. We did have a number of projects that came in, and we'll talk about those in a little while, but that kind of pushed a number of these things to the back burner.
Well, you had 3 more that were kind of on the list: the Ford Tri-Motor, the Spruce Goose, and the Manta Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Any of those?
I was going to build the Manta Ray, and I found I failed to have success with the Kraken. Right, I flew the Kraken a little bit, and I didn't really find a whole lot of success. And at flight test, I dumped it. In the sense, I gave it to somebody else wanted it. They're like, you're not going to fly it. I'm like, honestly, I don't even need to bring it home. If you want to bring it home, I'm going to take the electronics out. The rest is yours. They're like, whoa, cool, really? I'm like, yeah, if you want.
Nice.
And that made somebody really happy. My thought is I was going to rebuild it anyway. Something I did, I needed to approach it again. And I think some of that had to do with I wasn't watching the video all the way through, and there was a lot of custom adjusting to that airframe that I probably could have done better when I built it if I had realized it. So it's worth rebuilding, not a big deal. And so the follow-up from that was going to be the Manta Ray. So I didn't finish step 1 to be able to finish step 2.
Okay.
So what was the other? What was the model? Ford Tri-Motor. The design is still there, and the Spruce Goose is still in parts and pieces. So I am likely going to just dismantle all the motors and use them for the upcoming project as the power systems for the circle planes.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is a worthwhile investment of motor systems. As much as I want to see this Spruce Goose go, I do. I might just hook up 2 and fly it because it should be able to fly.
Yeah.
And just
and
forget
then the
all
others can be there for pretty.
Yeah, I can literally just put props on a spinner.
Yeah. I never got time to come up and see if I could help you any with the ESC synchronization.
Yeah, it's not entirely dead, but other projects seem to be more important. What about you, Joe? I know you've got a bunch of things on your list. You said you wanted to fly more. Now, once every 2 to 3 months, instead, do it once a month.
I didn't hit the once a month target. I'm pretty sure I flew more this year than I did last year.
Yeah, I think you did. You had months where you were flying every couple weeks. You know, you were doing it pretty consistently for a little bit, and then life got in the way.
It helps that I had some younger folks that I was trying to loop into the hobby, and I still gotta get my stuff situated properly to be able to take them and give them that good experience.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you. Okay. Your next one is finishing speed build kits.
I have not finished I hadn't opened the A10. The A10 Warthog. So that's still in there.
Well,
and
I'm going to blame Mike for that one.
Why?
He's like, we're going to build A10s together.
Oh, no. I just, when I do it, I want to do the EDFs.
Yeah.
Or at least like modified EDFs.
The Ben fans. Yeah.
And so it is something I want to do. That's just the one that I haven't cracked open yet. That's the one I got from Flight Fest this last year.
But which ones did you do? Because you did build
pretty much all of the other ones. I built the Sparrow, the Tiny Trainers, the Speedster. I've not built the biplane. There might have been a mini Mighty Mustang in there, the mini Corsair.
Right.
So those haven't been built.
Okay.
But that's my own fault, but I still don't have the motors to fly those. So even the Sparrow, the Tiny Trainer, and the Speedster, I don't, like, they're built, but I don't have anything to put in them to power them.
Okay.
So maybe a
little bit more building this year. I think that's not bad.
Yeah, it was definitely more building because I got the FT Edge built this year.
Oh yeah, hey baby.
Which I am just blown away by the construction of that plane. Like,
please put some directional tape or something on that thing. I swear, I don't want to see you dump it into the ground because you don't know which side is up for a minute.
I know. Matt's worried because I don't have any kind of indicators of what's the top of the plane and what's the underside of the plane, which is a fair point.
I'm just saying a blip of fluorescent paint or a strip of fluorescent tape or something. Just please.
Let's see.
It's so good. You did a good job. You did a really good job building that, and it's set up perfectly. You've flown it so many times really well.
Yeah, I'm getting some good flight time out of it. And actually, we come up early next week. That'll be the one I bring.
Good.
I think it's the only one I got that flies right now. But
I've got spray paint here. Just saying. You're like,
it's gonna take a little time.
Okay.
I've built the other skinned Spitfire.
Okay, right.
It just encountered some problems with it and hadn't put a motor in it. Built the Flurkin because all that was leading up to Flight Fest. The Flurkin,
that's right.
I forgot about that. The Noob Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got some good building in this year. Just not all the kits.
Depron Jet, the F-16 that you wanted to build.
Got the Depron. I have printed the plans and I need to order in the Mod Podge glue or some glue that they like to use, and I hadn't touched it yet. But all
right, yeah, you're in the same spot.
We've got the Depron.
Yeah, I was gonna say same spot as with me with the B2. All the things are printed out. Heck of it. It's probably even for me. It's mounted, but it's I don't know. I just haven't pulled it out and started cutting. Okay, so this also says flown the 3D printed plane, the Eclipse Model B. Did you finish that?
I still have not finished it. No.
Okay. It's tough to fly when it's not finished.
Yeah, a little bit. At one point I started putting it together, but I was finding that a lot of my parts like elephant footed at the bottom a bit.
Okay.
And so they weren't fitting together real nice.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of extra work or just very frustrating.
Yeah. So there's a lot of glue involved in holding pieces together. And I've got parts of the wings assembled. I've got like the main channel of the fuselage kind of put together. And it's just sort of that point where I need to start putting ailerons and elevators and stuff together. So, when I get my bench in here organized, that'll probably be when that happens, because I'm probably going to lose the garage bay as a
As a
main
workspace.
work area. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I definitely can't work in it right now because I had to get my wife's bay cleaned out to where she could
Yep.
park, which was sort of like shove everything into my bay.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, it's hey, everybody's coming up for D&D. I guess we're gonna shove all this stuff in a different room for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I know the feeling. Yep, same idea, different way to do it. Hey, speaking of call to action, maybe.
Oh,
Would you like to see me try and build the Ford Trimotor, or rebuild the Noob Wonder, the 300% Noob Wonder? I know, Joe, you're aiming to do that, and I've got my project I'm working on. But they kind of would require about the same power system, and they're about the same size and build technique. And I could probably do one or the other. So I would love to know what the community would like me to tackle if I do get a chance to actually start tackling that. Would they like to see a Ford Trimotor, or a rebuild of the 300% Noob Wonder?
And this is talking about for Flight Fest.
Yeah, goals for Flight Fest.
Okay. Knowing that the plan is that I'll have my 300% built.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and I'll be working on the other giant project.
Okay. Well, let us know your thoughts on what you'd like to see Matt do then.
Yeah.
This is the first I was hearing about that.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, I can build, because the Ford Trimotor wingspan, I think, was the same wingspan as the giant Noob Wonder. Mm-hmm. When we were looking at the scale and all that kind of stuff. And the difference is I have 2 extra motors stuck on that thing. But they're about the same core power system.
Well, wasn't the thing with the Ford Trimotor that, were they all the same motor, or was the central motor... The central motor was like an amped up motor, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, is if we take the one motor that we had in 300% Noob, that's the main motor, and then I've got two we'll call it pancake style motors that I can have on each of the nacelles. And they can use a bigger prop, but we can also keep it the same size. So they all have the same size like the original Ford Trimotor, but if I remember right, the center motor is a little bit beefier. So that would work out for either.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that kind of wraps up the last year. Yeah.
You did pretty good this year.
I mean, I might give me a B-. Maybe give you a B-, C+. I don't know.
Yeah, probably more like a C+. But I mean, we ended up doing very different things. And so that's a big part of the cause, right?
Yeah.
Is we both decided to redo our shops, mm-hmm. which changed some of the things, but we went to Flight Fest and decided about 2 months ahead of time to do something different than what I think we originally thought we'd be doing. And those projects really kind of, they took over for a little bit, which is okay. I'm excited about it. It turned out great. It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of Flight Fest 2024,
all right.
I know you're working on that big build you're doing, mm-hmm. and I'm going to be working on a 300% at some time. But right. two years ago, we did the Spitfires. Yeah. Last year we did the Noob Wonders. Mm-hmm. And I kind of expect we'll still see some Noob Wonders at 2024.
And by the way, bring your Noob Wonders. If you got them, fly them. We're going to bring ours.
Yeah. I mean, mine's been crashed, so I had to rebuild another one. But
that's okay.
Do we as a community want to just do the Noob Wonders again and do another Noob Wonder fly-in? Or do we want to find another plane as a community to build together, knowing that there probably mm-hmm. won't be giants of those built?
Right. Or do you want to build a disc shooter plane? That's what I'm going to call them. Build a bunch of those circular planes. I don't know.
Details on that still to come, because I got to see how all that's going to work.
It's right in the back there.
Which one is?
Right there.
Okay.
That little circular plane, it's all built. It runs on an easy power pack. It can run on something heftier.
How are you going to launch it?
A wheel, a motor with a wheel spinning, kind of like a Nerf gun, shoots the Nerf guns out. Just one of those, and it's got either a light sensor or a magnet, and it'll spool up and shoot the plane out, and then that's it. It'll probably have a 10-second timer on it. Just get powered up, go full tilt, shoot the plane out, and then it power down until the next one kind of gets put into place to activate the cycle. It should be powerful enough to get it going pretty good for it'll fly out on its own. And then of course, that at that point, whoever's got control of that plane, either we just have a crap ton of them, we have a bunch of them, and we just go and just start shooting them out like a disc shooter, and they're just foam, and they literally just do circles. It's just a glider. We can do that, or we can have powered versions, and that again, we've got different kind of levels of what I'm hoping to do with it, and know what who knows what we'll actually end up with, as far as it's a lot of things up in the air now. But if you build one of these planes and you want to put FPV on it, or if you want to fly it out of this thing, we could certainly set it up and figure it out. I wanted to have basically a camera inside the thing so we could see who's firing when, and so we can get everybody ready. And if you got your power system, we'll just we'll launch it out of this big giant mess. That'll be a good time. I'm hoping. I don't know. That's the thoughts.
When I come up next weekend, you're going to have to show me some of your thoughts on that. Because I just don't have my mind around it yet.
I will also share it. Okay. I mean, I'll show you. There's a bunch of people who made stuff out of like a 9-volt DC motors. And all it does is spin 2 CDs with like a little rubber edge on it. And they're just spinning.
No, I mean, I get
and then
that.
the thing pops in. So the keel of the circle plane is in that groove. And once it gets pushed into the circle, it just shoots out.
Okay.
I was talking with Uncle Rara about that.
Good old Uncle Rara.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad to hear that he's kind of back in country and doing stuff. But he's running around anyway. But yeah, talking to him about some things, he's like, yeah, actually, I think the ideas you're coming up with and how you think about it, I think we can figure this out. I think this could happen. I mean, you got most of the basics are pretty good. There's a couple things we'll need to figure out, but it's not something that's new. So we just need to figure out how to apply it. I said, all right, well, that's good to know. Okay, so we'll figure it out ultimately, or we won't. And it'll just be something to land on as it flies around. Land on
even that'll still be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I've got to figure out what kind of emergency system is when somebody busts into the props because they missed.
Yeah.
That's something I haven't thought terribly well. If you've got ideas, go on to our Discord and let us know. We've got Flight Fest 2024 big ideas, big build ideas. We'd love to have you comment in there and let us know your thoughts on that. There'll be a link in the show notes for sure.
Okay. Well, so we move on and not have this be a crazy long episode because I know this one we wanted to keep kind of shorter. Yep. Let's talk about looking at. Let's talk about what we did in 2023, I guess, as a podcast, as a community. You want to run through that?
I'm not really sure where you pull it. Why don't you run through it? Because it seems like you pulled it from somewhere.
No, that's yours. You put it in there.
Yeah, well, so it's a lot of it is making sure that we've got a community. So the whole point of the projects that we're putting together for Flight Fest is to foster community fun. Is really, we want to do stuff that gets you guys inspired to either join in or come up with your own creation to add to the nutty, right?
No, I think you're misunderstanding this section here.
Yeah, I don't know what I really don't know what you're aiming for there.
I guess I think that was.
I mean, I was just typing a bunch of stuff out at that point, and I hadn't gotten a chance to go back. I thought the looking forward was down here.
It is.
So what's all this here? I don't remember what this was. This was what we did this past year.
Yeah, this is what we did this past year.
Okay. Well, that's not what you mentioned.
No, that's not.
That's why I got confused.
My bad.
All right.
Because I started to say, well, let's look at 2024, and then I realized, oh wait, no, that's 2023.
All right. Well, then just say, well, okay. So let's go back, and then we'll just say, well, there's a reason why we didn't do all this stuff up top. It's because we did all these other things.
Yeah.
And that's what this is to talk about all the things we did do. Because we did a number of different things.
Okay. Well, moving this along so that we don't take up too much time, because I know we wanted this to be a shorter episode. And Matt and I just had a quick little break to review what it was we were talking about here. But part of the reason that we didn't get everything done maybe that we wanted to this last year is we had other things, even in the community, that we were doing. So we had a number of things in 2023 that went on, like your annual Build-Uary.
Yep, Build-Uary. 4 planes, 4 weeks. Good luck.
How'd that go?
It's a blast every time. It's not as many people as I always hope would join in, and very few people complete it. If you want a difficult challenge, join the Build-Uary challenge this year. It'll be in February. Get your plane ideas ready for in January. You can even kind of preload them. It's a tough challenge, but it's a lot of fun. And I'd love to see more people join in. So if you're hearing this and you're intrigued, build 4 planes in the 4 weeks of February, get them flying, get proof of life, and then good luck. So yeah, we did that last year, and it was a good time for all the people who were involved. Even if you didn't even complete it, a lot of people who just tried had a great time. The community that we foster around it is a lot of fun. It's like what we do on the in the Discord, really.
And if you're I won't say smart, if you're resourceful, you'll use January to stage yourself and kind of get everything cut out beforehand.
So you get things taken care of before life takes over and derails the whole thing. It always does. All right. Yeah. We also did a bunch of community projects. And by community projects, we fostered getting people involved with the Noob Wonder. We got Dan was a guest last year, and we did the whole Noob Wonder project, not only just the variant for the plane he designed in foam, but we made the mini Noob Wonder, and we made the 300% giant Noob Wonders. And we got everybody, and there's so many people who came out at Flight Fest who built one and joined us in the giant fly-ins.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast, and I want to do more like that. So, that I want more of that. Help us do more of that. That's what we want.
And by help us, mostly just join in.
Yeah, exactly.
Come along for the ride.
Yep. And if there's ways you think we can make it even better, let us know, because we want to make it better every time. So,
And we got flags this year.
Yep, we got flags that we could raise at events. We really only went to one event for Flight Fest. That's actually something we'll talk about in a second, about what ones we might want to go to this coming year. And that's kind of a call to action that we'd love to hear from you, is what events you think that you would like to see us be at if we can be there. Right now, I think we're only committing to Flight Fest 2024, whenever that is. But we may be able to hit a couple other ones. We'll see. So is that, like I said, we designed, developed, and put videos together for the Aviation-Rcnoob mini Noob Wonder, right? A way to use the Easy Pack to enjoy the Noob Wonder yourself. So if you're just getting started, it's a great way to get in and enjoy that. There's a ton of community activity on the Discord we continue to foster, right?
There is. What was this one?
Just share what you're doing. I mean, that's the thing, is we have all of these channels, right? Most of them pertain to, honestly, I think each one pertains to a podcast topic that we've covered at one point or another. And everybody's kind of sharing what they're working on, or what they're working in, or ideas they might have. And it's awesome, because you get people who are either thinking along the same lines, or they've got something to add to help your project get better, or just encourage you in what you're doing. Like, it's active, and it's instant feedback. And when you're trying to figure out if it's a direction you want to go, join in the community and share what you're working on. We'd love to support you with kudos and high fives and keep you motivated to keep at it. It's part of why we do this section where we talk about what we've been up to.
Okay. Well, do we want to talk about what we're looking forward to in this next year as...
Well, and just the other thing we did all year long was build nights every month.
Mm-hmm.
And I think early in the year we did a couple sim nights.
I don't think we did.
We didn't? In the very beginning, like in January and February, I thought we did one or two.
I don't think so.
We need to bring them back, though.
We do.
Okay.
I keep saying that I need to do them, and I just haven't.
Okay. Well, it's not a bad idea. So we'll keep that back on the... Hey, if you like the sim nights, bug Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Didn't bug either of us.
It's in my wheelhouse now.
All right. That's okay. No, we'll get it done. We'll set up a couple sim nights and make sure we have that done. All right. So now that, but those are the things we've been busy with over this past year, which means we need to think about what are we going to do next year, right?
What are we going to do next year?
Well, one, give us feedback. What would you like to see us do next year? A lot of what we do in the podcast is in part related to what we see in the community, as well as what we do personally as we develop our skills in the hobby, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna tackle composites because part of this project is going to involve composites. That's okay. I think the only way I'm going to build it strong, I'm going to build it light, is to do it with composites. I know that's not what everybody always entirely agrees. I think both of us have been talking about balsa forever, and both of us, I think, have either a way to build a kit or we have a desire to build a kit. So we're going to do that. We're going to attempt to tackle it at least. I think this coming year, it might be time to do something we've been thinking about, which is when we see somebody who's new in the hobby. Joe and I we're still going into new areas of the hobby for us, right? There's still a lot of new parts in our journey, but we are no longer noobs to the hobby itself. So if you are,
but we still fly like them.
We do still fly. It takes a while to stop flying like that. I'll tell you, unless you sim a lot, which is partly why we should sim. Anyway, point is if you are relatively new and you'd like to share your story, I think we're going to occasionally put in a segment where we reach out to somebody who's new and have a small interview with you, and include that in the episode and kind of get your thoughts on what it's like to be a new person in the hobby and some of the struggles you have and some of the successes that really keep you coming back. I think those shared stories are what's important to keep more people inspired in this hobby. So we'll be doing some of that. I know Joe and I keep talking about revamping the website, but
we have somebody to help us.
We have somebody to help us. I think it's actually going to happen better. We'll get there. That's going to happen. So we're going to redo the website in the manner I think both of us had visions of. And so I think we're going to see part of what I wanted to do with the website is create it in a way that if you're new to the hobby, there's a way for you. We got a thing. It's in there to help you get started, and it'll be based on what we did in the podcast already. Have stores with some of the merchandise, as well as all the episodes, of course. And then other things, articles that help you to keep in the hobby, or if you want to learn more about the hobby, we got avenues to do that, ways to connect with us, and other things we haven't even thought of yet. But, first things first, get this thing working a little bit better. The coming year,
I don't know why you dislike it so much. The workflow, it's not that bad.
It doesn't work for me. That's all I'm gonna say. I have special needs. I'm a special man that apparently only has so much patience for certain things, and the workflow has too many of those things I can't stand. So, yeah, I just need a different way to do it, and I think we can get that working so that we can start putting together more information. It's possible that with some of these articles, we're going to include some affiliate links. Like when I'm doing the projects that we talk about, or Joe's doing a project, if we've got a series of electronics or whatever the materials we're going to build, if you want to build along with, we want to make sure that you can go get those materials. They may be associated through affiliate links. That way it'll help us continue to do the podcast and tackle special projects. So just a warning, we may have those along the way. We did a YouTube video that was, and as we tackle more difficult subjects or talk to different guests, we may be doing more YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Honestly, I would love to know, did you like the one that we did on YouTube? Do you want to see more YouTube or, something like that, video format, or would you like to keep it in audio? So we'd love to know.
Well, speaking of, I guess maybe not the YouTube thing, though some of it may apply. Looping back to earlier, when you were talking about things to, I don't know, you had said something earlier, and it stuck in my head, but
Okay.
I want to be sure that we got it. In the coming year, I'm going to try to challenge us to, we have asked a number of times in the past for people to go and put topic ideas in the topic channel.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have.
And thank you, by the way.
Thank you, by the way. We have not done a good job of actually grabbing those and doing them.
We haven't organized them well. So there's a number that we missed along the way. So you're saying
I've got them. In a OneNote.
Okay.
I've got them noted, copied over. So I've got a list of them. I would say one of our goals this year is to hit as many of those as we can that we're capable and comfortable of hitting.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things that we've covered in the last couple are, as per recommendations or from listener comments, and like, hey, we'd love to hear more of this. So we're listening. We see it. I promise.
Yeah. Well, there's some that have just been out there for a while that we need to loop back on. So I just want to make sure we do swing back on those, and get those.
Yeah.
So I've got those in a sheet that Matt and I will be going over.
Good.
So you can look forward to that. If you put something in there, I have pulled it. We'll be looking at it.
Awesome. And then as we kind of get closer to Flight Fest, we will have some form of a community project where we're going to ask you, take a moment, build this thing, and come fly with us at Flight Fest if you're going. And if not, fly with us in spirit.
Mm-hmm. And that's sort of what we got to figure out, which is what I was talking about earlier. Do we want to just do the Noob Wonders again? Or do we want a different one? That's right. That's what we're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And, honestly, if you have an opinion, again, we want to hear what you want. That we're doing our thing, right? And we're going through the hobby in the way we can. But if you guys have opinions, we'd love to know. Because right now, I think we would enjoy, I think, either, right? Coming up with a new thing, right? To get us all engaged, or to just double down on the Noob Wonder and just encourage everybody to keep at it and spread the word,
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be good. Another thing that we go to Flight Fest because we love building a foam. It's easy, it's accessible, and the event there is just such a lot of fun for us. The question is what other events do you think we should go to? I know Joe Knoll is right around the corner from Joe and I, because it's in the hills of South Carolina.
Yeah, I hate that I didn't realize it was going on when it was.
It's right there. Well, that's what I'm saying is this year.
It's like an hour and a half from where I work.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. So what we can do is look at what it might take for us to even show up for a day, visit a couple people we know there, because I know there's people that go there. Ceph isn't too far. That's in Georgia, as I understand it. Southeastern Flight Festival, I think, or Festival of Flight, or whatever it's called. And of course, there's like AirVenture or Oshkosh, way up. We've had a lot of people say, you should come, you need to come. It's the thing. And I mean, I don't know that it's something we're going to do. That's quite a long trip for us. But at the same point, I don't know if who knows what's in the cards for as we go through this year. I would say unlikely with Oshkosh, but there's other events. So let us know what events you think you'd love to see us try and get out to. We're in the Carolinas, so that gives you a rough idea as to what we have
where
accessible.
we operate out of.
Yeah. I mean, if you tell us come to Alaska, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. But at the same point, I would love to know. And honestly, if you have events that you'd like us to kind of highlight and talk about a little bit, so let other listeners know that it's even there. That might be something we start doing, is highlighting your local community events so that other people who are listening to this might be able to come out and enjoy it too with you.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
Because I know I definitely don't know all the things that are going on in my area.
Right.
Right.
And I know they're there.
Don't know any of them.
Well, I mean, you've got a couple flying fields that maybe not close, but they're not too far either. And so if they're having events, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, I didn't know there was a free flight group out of the town next to me. The
Really?
Rayford, North Carolina. That's the one when Josh Finn. He was saying, he's like, yeah, they do the propellers. It's all the free flight stuff. It's out out of the town, just like literally next town over. He's like, oh my God, it's a great club. You should go. You have to go. When they have the event, you need to go. And that's one of the things I need to put on my list is we need to go to one of the contests. One of us does. Just see what one of these contests is about. Pick one. Try to get to it. Get to more things. And, and that's why we want to know what you're interested in hearing more about. We're going to continue to have guests as we find them. I appreciate everybody who keeps adding to that list of people we should talk to. We're eager to hear more. I find some as I go along. Joe finds some as he comes along. We want to do it. We're going to have to change the format as we go. This is a new year. Some of the things we're doing, I like what we do, but I don't know how much we're going to be able to keep doing. I don't think we'll ever run out of planes to do history segments on. But it's going to be a little bit tougher to do. But that's the one thing we've called out to the community to help us with, and we'd love to continue that. Again, I want to just get the community involved, really.
Yeah. And speaking on that, we've had, excuse me, I think we both had a coughing fit.
We did.
I think we had Ra come on to do a history segment or two. So if
Tony's come on a couple.
Yep. So if you've got a plane that you're passionate about and want to do the history segment for, reach out to us. We'd be happy to let you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal.
And
how would we do that? That'd be Matthew at aviationrcnoob.com or Joe at aviationrcnoob.com, or you could reach out to both of us at aviationrcnoob@gmail.com.
You can also just come into a Discord server and say, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I think, pretty much goes through our list of things that we had noted to discuss tonight. You got anything else, Matthew?
No, just come on to the build nights. I think everybody's missing out when you show up to these things. It's like being at the field and shooting just shooting topic ideas, and while you're doing the thing you would normally do anyway. Mm-hmm. But it's more of a community feel. I mean, maybe that's not what you want while you're building, and I totally understand that. But what I found is it always enriches my experience, and most of the people who join in find that they enjoyed it too.
Or you can just pull a Jesse and just pull up to the table and not build.
Yeah, just have a plane next to you, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what he does.
Yeah, maybe reach over and just like twiddle with it for a second, and then say, "All right, I was building."
Yeah, I did something. I glued a piece. Did you see it? I put it right in there. All right. No, but seriously, just come out and enjoy. Anyway, but it's been a really amazing year, and I'm excited to see what this new year will bring, both for Joe and myself personally, as well as with this hobby and this podcast.
Mhm.
I feel privileged to have the opportunity to do this with you, Joe, as well as to do this with this community. I feel real
100%.
blessed.
Yeah, we've been doing this almost 4 years. A couple weeks, it'll be 4 years.
It's incredible.
It's a thing. My poor wife did not realize what we were signing up for.
Did you know?
No.
The answer is no.
No.
Of course not.
No. But it's been a blast, and it continues to be. I don't build and fly as much as I'd love to, but I still enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
And we enjoy, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you and me hanging out, chatting. And,
if it does nothing else, it gives us a good excuse to chat with each other.
That's right.
And I've definitely been blessed with that too. So thank you, Joe.
Well, thank you.
Enriching my life every day, every week.
We should know. I will not serenade everybody with Moulin Rouge.
Oh boy. Oh boy, he's about to give me a love ballad. Oh boy.
All right. Well, let's get out of here so I can give you the love ballad, and then we can call it a night.
Save me, everybody, please.
Well, guys, as always, thank you for tuning in and listening. Bit of a shorter episode this time, but we just wanted to be able to come on and say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Thank you for another wonderful year. We're looking forward to another wonderful year with you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, suggestions, etc., feel free to reach out to us. Matthew gave you the email addresses, or you reach out to us in Discord or on the Facebook group. We really need to swing by and see if there's any activity. I hadn't been by there for a while.
Oh yeah, no, there's stuff going on all the time.
Okay, I'm glad you're keeping track of it. Thank you, as always, to our patrons who continue to help keep the lights on.
We greatly appreciate it.
Keep the bills covered. We appreciate that. And I think we pretty much covered everything.
Joe, you said it best, honestly, and all I can say is amen to all that you said for the thanks for the year, the people, the community, and everything that we've managed to pull together for these last couple of years. I'm eager to and excited to see what we pull together this coming year. So, without further ado, adios, and we'll see you next time
in 2024.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Bye. I mean, it's entertaining for sure.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't
then
right.
I can taste him.
Okay.
So, me and a coworker will do that sometime at work.
Beating, but like a beatbox.
But I couldn't because I didn't want to die. Got court tomorrow.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right.
What do we do without the internet? I mean, seriously.
Are we doing a history segment on this?
No.
Hello, Roxy. Yes, give me a minute. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh.
I figured that when Rachel came in to say, hey, the door was open and things were
well, I don't have a door on here right now. Hello, goodness.
Boy, oh boy, that's a dog who needs part of daddy.
She wants some daddy attention, yeah. All right, go to mama. Love you. She'd crawl inside your skin if she got the chance.
She was trying.
She was
I'm
trying
pretty
really
sure.
hard.